Here joined by Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny the Jet Smith. Tonight, two teams start fresh for their first game of the season. Both squads believing this will be a great year. Tonight, we'll be watching the Indiana Pacers playing against the Toronto Raptors. For the Raptors, they've got what only half of the teams in the NBA get to enjoy, and that's opening the season on your home floor. The fans are ready to give them all the support they need to go after their first win of the season. And another NBA season about to start. Shaq, we've talked about it. You can feel, an air of excitement that's a little different than in years past.
There's a number of talented teams all wanting that ring. I've said this before. Kenny has said it many times. It could be one of the best seasons we've seen in a while, including what Golden State did last year in the ring.
That was an incredible run. But some teams that looked unstoppable last year will start to show some cracks in their armor. But the other teams that didn't look like much on paper last year, beginning this season, are now looking like they will surprise.
And that is it for now as we send you to Kevin Harlan and the rest of the 2K Sports Group.
At shooting guard, at 6'6" number 8, Kobe Bryant. At the power forward position, standing 6'11", number 21, Tim Duncan. The other guard, standing 6'5", number 14, Oscar Robertson. The big man, standing 7'2", number 53, Artis Gilmore. Starting at the other forward position, standing 6'5", number 22, Elgin Baylor. Your head coach is Dwayne Casey. Ladies and gentlemen, your Toronto Raptors.
Welcome, everybody, to the day we've all been looking forward to. The start of a new NBA season on 2K Sports. This is Kevin Harlan with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg alongside. And our sideline reporter tonight is Doris Burke. You can feel the energy here at Air Canada Center. The Raptors looking to please their fans in this Eastern Conference matchup. This game against Indiana, the first game of the NBA's regular season. They were able to sweep the season series last year, completely controlling the play in each game.
And they rolled over this team last season, beating them every time they faced off.
Not a lot of competition, really. I mean, they're playoff caliber and took care of business against a team that wasn't playoff caliber and maybe still isn't.
Let's check out Indiana's starting lineup. Anthony is out there with McAdoo. Then there's Carter. Then it's Bellamy. And it's Wade in at the 1 spot. Now here is Carter. Out to Anthony. Pass to McAdoo. Indiana moving the ball around. Wade from outside cannot hit. And so here's Toronto. Kobe kicks to Robertson. Here's Kobe. Busts the J after the cagey pass fake. Kobe's got the game going here with the first basket for Toronto. Well, the Raptors show they can be a force in offense once again. That was very clearly a strength of the team last year, Greg.
Yeah, and Toronto has a lot of guys that can hurt you in a variety of ways. They can score in the half court, but are really explosive enough to get out and run if teams want to push the tempo.
Duncan goes in, and there's the slam dunk to finish it off.
Clearly, he's one of the best there is in the business when it comes to making that lead pass.
Anthony, the pass to McAdoo. Anthony dishes to McAdoo. How's that for an answer? Right back with the dunk.
And check out the bounce.
Oh, bounce to the ounce. Clark, how about that?
Yeah.
All right,
You
showing
said
him
it,
off
Kevin.
right there. Good move.
You said it, my man. He's a highlight reel waiting to happen.
You know, guys, another factor that made the Raptors so good on offense last year was their free throw shooting. I mean, they were second in the league and first in the East. They made over 78% of their foul shots. That is some real serious dime dropping there. Exquisite assist.
Wade kicks to McAdoo. The shot's good on the assist by Wade. McAdoo's got 5.
He can be a weapon if he gets going early from long range. And there is a measurement in the NBA called true shooting percentage. It takes into account the values of 2s, 3s, and how you get to the line. That free throw percentage of the Raptors had them as the 6th best offense in terms of true shooting last season.
And that one's good.
How pretty was that from Carter?
The Raptors have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far.
Wow, what a pass there. He made that a very easy basket with that setup.
Indiana's gone 1 of 2 from long range in the first quarter. Wade against Robertson. Anthony right side. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Wade.
How about a look at the Pacers and where they ranked in the NBA last season? 3rd in opponent field goal percentage, 4th in opponent points per game, and they also showed up in the top 5 in team rebounds. That means everybody's doing their job on the boards. This is a very strong rebounding team.
And you mentioned their ranking in terms of opponent field goal percentage. Such an important stat. They did not give up the easy looks. You really had to work for whatever you got.
Dishes to Duncan. Stolen by Wade. And finished off by Carter.
Excellent work there in transition.
Yeah, I think it's always better to go early in transition, to attack when it's there, because oftentimes you can beat the defense down the floor.
And the replay, of course, presented by Kia. What a play. Here's Robertson. Following the score by Indiana. They grab their own miss. Baylor gets the bucket.
I just love the determination on that backboard. Coming out of the gates really, really strong.
Inside. Elgin Baylor on the wing. Inside, here's Gilmore, and he finishes it off with a one-handed jam.
And that's the classic 1-2 punch right there. I mean, nice steal. And then how about the elevation, Kevin, on the finish?
And, Greg, nothing spurs some quick offense like a great play defensively.
That indicates the importance of great on-the-ball defense, as was displayed right there.
Everyone knows about the Paul George injury from last year and how it affected the Pacers. He said almost the entire season, and there was no doubt they missed.
Yeah, and when George came back, Kevin, the Pacers got hot, but they had to put him on a minutes limit. And it wasn't just George, though. The team as a whole had a lot of injuries during the course of the season.
Catching up on the changes for Toronto. Zach Randolph, he's checked in for garbage man. Pippen comes in for Baylor, and it's Jordan in for Bryant. Now here's Wade after the miss from Tim Duncan. Boy, he launched that one from way out. Bird's got himself on the board with 3 there.
And, you know, as you said, the Pacers did have problems with injuries. The team roster missed 219 games due to injury. So compare that to the 69 games missed by the Pacers in 2014. Big difference.
Kicks it out to Crawford. And he misses the go-ahead basket.
Hard to figure out how he doesn't knock that one down. No defender in sight.
Robertson passes to Randall. That's in, coming off the assist from Robertson. Robertson's got 4 assists now tonight.
And really, guys, the most telling part of the Pacers' injury troubles was this. Had to use 15 different starting lineups over the course of the season. Just hard to stay consistent and competitive when you are all injured player in the lineup.
Now Bird, after Dwayne Wade's three-pointer that didn't go. Pippen against Bird. Shot clock at 5. And that one hits back iron.
That's exactly how you have to defend him. He's a guy that the D needs to be aware of at all times.
Jordan with it, and Crawford picks him up defensively. Robertson can't get it to go.
And if the shot's not there, you've got to understand that. Move the basketball.
Yeah, exactly, and I'm not quite sure what his mindset or what he was thinking there. I mean, that was just a terrible shot.
Pippen dishes to Robertson. Now the feed to Randolph. Outside for Jordan. Tries from 16, and he gets that one to go off the front iron.
That is so tough to defend. He'll cross you over in a nanosecond. That...
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. All right, well, look at how the points have been generated so far. Scoring breakdown for the Raptors.
They've been making some really nice passes out there. Excellent passing. That could set the tone for the rest of the game.
Yeah, they're showing some muscle also in the first half as well, and getting a lot of their points in the paint. Really like the balance they've shown.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. So for Toronto right now, they've got Pippen. Kobe is out there at Bledsoe. Then it's Zach Randolph, and it's Gilmore in at the 5. Here is Bledsoe, following the score by Vince Carter. Pass to Gilmore. A terrific shot on a turnaround. Garbage Man's got the lead up to 5 now for Toronto. And it's Carter penetrating. Indiana moving it around. Offensive rebound. That's his 4th basket of the game, and he's only taken 4 shots. Off to a good start.
Just a grinder. Always doing the dirty work on the offensive glass, and that's one of the things he brings to the table.
Now here's Pippen. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Bledsoe passes to Gilmore. Takes the turnaround J. A rebound by Carter.
Well, I like the defense there. Right up in his grill, didn't give him a chance.
Well, the Pacers, despite all their injuries from last season, were right in the playoff hunt until the very end. Had a chance, in fact, GA, on the last day to sneak in, but it didn't happen.
Yeah, they needed a Brooklyn loss to go along with them winning that last game. Ultimately, though, it wasn't in the cards for them, and they ended a game out of the postseason.
And Toronto making a change here. Baylor's checked in.
And, you know, the Pacers had made the playoffs in each of the last 4 seasons prior to last year's miss. Hard for a team that was coming off of back-to-back conference finals appearances to stomach that. But with the injuries, they'll be better and back in the playoffs next year, I'm sure.
And it's Carter missing.
Oh, that's a golden opportunity to finish on the break, and he blows it.
Yeah, at this level, you got to make that shot. It's plain and simple. You got to knock that one down.
Now here's Bledsoe. And Zach Randolph, the bucket on the assist by Bledsoe. And the Raptors lead by 3.
And really, it's going to be more of a reload than a rebuild situation for the Pacers. You would have to imagine their goal isn't just to get back to the playoffs, but to get back to being a conference final participant.
He hit a 3 in the first, but so far has been unable to capitalize here in this quarter.
And he overdid it there. Too much force, it looked like, on the foul, and he's called for the flagrant.
And, Kevin, that's a pretty dangerous play right there. I mean, I don't like to see a player put an opponent in harm's way, as much as you just saw him do there. Glad they pinned a flagrant on him.
Yeah, you're right, Greg. The officials were all over it. They weren't going to let him off the hook that time.
You know, Dwayne Casey was once a player at Kentucky, took me and hosted me on my recruiting visit at Kentucky back in 1979. Actually got his coaching start at the school as well.
To the inside, Randolph. Here's Gilmore, and a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
It's been a good one for Garbage Man. He's got 8 points and a couple of nice steals, too.
As we were talking about Coach Dwayne Casey, he's found his place in Toronto, took them, Greg, the back-to-back postseason appearances.
And, you know, it's good to see him finally establishing himself as a head coach. Really known as a defensive specialist, but once he gets in charge of a team, he'll have them focused on defense and really stresses that in every practice.
Wade, he's checked in for Vince Carter.
And, Kevin, who says a point guard should look to pass first? I mean, not when you can finish like this fella.
Well, Clark, he wasn't going to give that opportunity up to a teammate.
Well, you know, Kevin, that's one he'll always take himself, and he should. I mean, you can't pass up that kind of opportunity or fun.
Here's Jefferson following the basket by Kobe Bryant. About 3 minutes played so far in the second quarter. And McAdoo kicks to Bird. Shot clock at 5. Fires from 14. Good as the jump shot falls. Bird's got 7 points.
You know, his ability is matched only by his energy, guys. I mean, he's usually in the middle of everything for his team.
So timeout called here, the first for Toronto.
Yeah, maybe a change of the game plan right now, looking at some different sets because of the matchups.
Yeah, I agree with you because they're looking to tweak things to maybe get those matchups working in their favor.
Here's what Toronto's going with right now. Duncan, he's checked in for Randall. Jordan comes in for Bryant. And it's Robertson in for Eric Bledsoe. With that shot, the Raptor lead is cut down to 2 on the bucket from Crawford.
Those are the kind of nice inside looks they've gotten in the first half here.
And I think they should continue to work the ball down low, Clark. It's really going to free up their outside shooter. And he is the ultimate when it comes to being a floor leader on the offensive end.
Yeah, you know, he's got a little bit of Greg Anthony in him. And he has been that leader today. And I think he's done a really nice job of moving the ball and distributing it the way it needs to be done.
Well, Clark, I'm glad you referenced specifically why you thought he had a little Greg Anthony. I thought you were talking about the knees, man. he looked a little hobbled out there for a moment. And a sturdy screen set for him that time, and he doesn't fool around, just straight to the rim for the finish.
No way for his man to get around that one, that's for sure.
No chance, Kevin. I mean, the screen was in the right spot. His feet were set. He would have had to go straight through him, and that's not legal.
And a great stretch of games here for Wade at the end of last. A great stretch of games for Wade at the end of last season. I mean, he turned back the clock, if you will, for a while and really helped carry this Heat team.
Yeah, Greg, you know, I remember that stretch with Wade you're talking about. It seems like he finally now feels healthy, Clark, and it shows.
Wade himself said, Kevin, it was the best he felt in a couple of years. Health is such a big factor for him, given how he plays and selectively now likes to attack the rim.
So timeout called here, the first for Indiana. Scottie Pippen's checked in for Garbage Man. Indiana also making some changes. Carter comes in for McAdoo, and it's Bird in for Jamal Crawford. Pacers trail by 6. Dwayne Wade on the wing, covered by Robertson. Outside Anthony. Pippen with the steal. Here's Robertson. Pippen kicks to Duncan. Feeds to Robertson. Baylor a screen on Anthony. Here's Robertson. Here's Duncan. And foul called as he misses. He'll go to the line and shoot 2.
You know, they've changed their game here in the second. Getting a little bit more physical, playing with some toughness now.
And I'm looking for them to increase that lead if they can keep getting to the free throw line. And the Raptors have been talking about changing things up in the logo department for a while. Finally, we get a chance to see the new logo this season.
Runner in the lane. That's in, coming off the assist from Robertson. And it's 8 points for Duncan.
Another bucket in the paint. That's something they just have not been able to stop today.
Yeah, the defense is all about disrupting timing and spacing, and what they've got going right now is not getting it done.
Now Robertson following the miss by Larry Bird from deep. Pippen with it, and it's Bird picking him up. Kicks it to Jordan. Howard down after the assist, let him into the lane.
You always hear about chemistry. That's a perfect example, knowing where each other is at all times.
That's good. 10 points for Vince Carter.
And he's really shot the ball well, but it hasn't been contagious.
Robertson against Wade. Robertson dishes to Duncan. Can't hit the turnaround jumper. Wade. He got it up in time, but it wouldn't fall for him. And the first half is now in the books. Toronto ahead as they end the second quarter on a 12-4 run. And now let's catch up with Doris Burke, who's standing by on the sideline. Doris?
Hey, Kevin. Well, Coach Casey, obviously it's early in the season, but how would you say this team is shaping up in terms of its chemistry and personnel-wise?
I love our guys. We have a great group of young men that are competing hard, and it feels good because I know our guys are totally engaged and focused and giving us what they have.
Coach, thank you so much. Back to you guys at the table.
All right, Doris, thank you. And we'll be back after halftime for the start of the third quarter.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And hello again. We have amped up home crowd joining us for our halftime report. Ernie Johnson with the illustrious Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. The first quarter for the Raptors was fairly even. Their biggest lead during the opening period was 5. In the second quarter, they imposed their will on the game and built a 10-point lead at the half. And if things continue to go the same way after the break, they're threatening to run away with this one. And let's get your thoughts, big fella, on the Raptors.
Well, it was an unselfish, team-oriented half of basketball. The ball never stopped moving. Their offense had a great flow to it. It prevented anyone from getting lazy out there. They're always moving, cutting, knowing where they need to pass the ball, Ernie.
Kenny, what did you think about Indiana?
Their inaccuracy from behind the arc was brutal. Shot selection, I didn't see any. The perimeter offense they're running, you could scrap that. They need to get back to the basics. Pound it inside, more pick and roll. Try to pick up some easy buckets in transition.
Just about time for the third quarter to get underway, and we'll see you again at the Horn.
And the third quarter about ready to get underway. We're seeing a tremendous game from Garbage Man.
And he really just broke out the entire arsenal of post moves there in that first half.
And I think he might even have a few more tricks up his sleeve. I mean, he'll break them out as we start heading down the stretch. I'm sure of that.
And so here's Toronto. They'll be off to Boston for a meeting with the Celtics after this one. That'll be just one game played away from home for them. On the court for Indiana, McAdoo out there with Anthony. Then there's Dwayne Wade. Then there's Carter. And it's Bellamy in at the pivot spot, manning the middle. And, here, there's a whistle. He was going up for a layup, and while it looked like there was some contact, I wasn't sure they were going to call a foul shot or not, but sure enough they have. So he'll head to the free throw line. The Raptors have shot a good percentage from the free throw line so far. They've made 5 out of 6. Oh, and the jam by Anthony.
Really good example there of some fine interior passing before that basket.
Raptors leading by 11. Bryant passes to Robertson. From the wing. They get the rebound. That's tipped.
1 for 4 from the field since halftime. They're having a tough time getting it going here.
And it's Anthony with the jam.
Easy to see who's going to win that race.
Yeah, early offense is often easy offense. Excellent work that time.
Now here's Robertson. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. To the paint. Here's Gilmore. Anthony with the block. And he gets it back. And it is flushed down with a nice jam.
And guys, that's his game. I mean, battling in the paint and cashing in on those second chance opportunities.
And Greg cashing in hard. I mean, man, oh man, he puts an exclamation point on that dunk.
Yes. Guys, that's the only way he knows how to do it. Soft, I don't even think is in his vocabulary.
Well, the one word you can use to describe the Raptors postseason last year, disaster. I mean, Greg, nothing went right for him.
Yeah, I mean, after that great regular season, they were completely just manhandled by the Wizards, swept out of the first round in 4 straight.
Now here's Duncan. 8 points for him. Baylor. Rebounded by McAdoo.
The defense there got away with a major lapse.
And then Carter with the jam.
I tell you what a good thing that he showed up today, because without him, this thing would already be over.
Raptors leading by 7.
Well, I tell you, the Raptors really were befuddled with how that series went. I mean, they just never got things going and became the first team to get swept with home court advantage in the playoffs since 2011.
Toronto calls timeout.
And guys, you look at the Raptors last season and how they stumbled at times. You could see that they would have trouble in the postseason with the way they were constructed. I don't think anybody saw a sweep coming, but that's where it ended up being.
The Pacers making a switch here. Crawford's checked in. Here's Kobe. Good ball movement here by the Raptors. And the shot is good. And that's 18 points for Garbage Man.
Not surprised at all. He's shooting it well and scoring points in bunches.
Wade misses.
A slight advantage for them in the rebound department, but that oftentimes is all it takes.
Especially, Greg, when you're scoring the ball at a decent clip the way they have. I mean, they've done exactly what's necessary to take the lead.
Ooh, that's as forceful a finish as you're ever going to see out of this guy.
Well, gee, it adds now to their lead in spectacular fashion.
And, you know, that lead's only going to grow if they're not prepared to defend a little more staunchly than that.
And the Raptors with the ball. The Pacers making the shot. Robertson passes to Gilmore.
And very little fight put up by the defense as he made his way to the bucket for the jam.
They did seem to take the cautious approach, Greg, when it came to defending that one. You're right.
And, guys, it's not the time for caution now. I mean, they've got to be aggressive and take some risk to see if they can cut that lead down.
And that last replay courtesy of Kia. One thing about Jamal Crawford, he is the definition of a streak shooter. When he's hot, baby, watch out.
Yeah, I mean, he's a combination of craftiness and athleticism. It makes him very hard to defend. He can spot you up, run you off picks, drive past you. This guy gives you the real deal.
You know, you look at Jamal Crawford's scoring ability. Your best way to stop him is to not let him get going. I mean, play physical with him, go over screens, close out, get into his airspace. At least that gives you a chance because he's terrific offensively.
Scottie Pippen's checked in for the Raptors. And the Pacers also making a change. Larry Bird's checked in for Anthony. Out of bounds, Pacers ball as Indiana keeps possession. And Toronto making a change here. Jordan's checked in. That's tipped, stolen by Pippen. Just over 3.5 minutes through the third quarter of play now. And that is good. And it's a 12-point Raptor lead.
And getting back to Jamal Crawford, here's the thing. He's that ace up your sleeve, if you will. Just having a threat of him on the floor creates scoring opportunities for your offense. He commands so much attention from the defense that there's always going to be a good chance